So yesterday we talked about all the talented prospects flocking to Tuscaloosa and some of the prospects I was very intrigued by. After yesterday happened, news comes out that four-star defensive lineman Hunter Osborne has earned an offer to the Crimson Tide, and that's a situation we have to keep up with. A very talented player. But in my opinion, the most interesting news yesterday coming out of Tuscaloosa involved a player in the transfer portal, and that's former UGA wide receiver Jermaine Burton, a top 10 player in the transfer portal who was visiting Tuscaloosa yesterday, and this is a situation we need to break down. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes, N for no. Do you believe that Alabama could land Jermaine Burton? And let me know what you're thinking about the situation. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, like and comment down below. Those interactions may seem small, but they're massive to content creators such as myself and both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. But with all of that being said, we need to talk about this because what Alabama has done in the transfer portal may slide under the radar simply because they haven't taken the numbers as other institutions. And if we actually look at the top teams that have utilized the transfer portal this year, Alabama does not rank within the top 10. But once again, it's because of the numbers they've taken. They've only taken 2 players from the portal. However, Alabama has an average player ranking out the portal of a 97, which is by far and about, to my knowledge, the #1 average rank out the portal in the nation. I mean, when we're talking about what Alabama has grabbed out the portal thus far, we're talking about Eli Ricks, one of the top defensive players in the nation, and he is a shutdown corner. I mean, what he offers the Crimson Tide to pair along with JaQuincy McKinstry is a huge advantage going into next year. But that's only doubled down when you get Jahmyr Gibbs, a very talented running back who's incredibly dangerous catching the ball out the backfield as well. And that versatility he has is something that Alabama looks to utilize on offense. But they may not be done out the transfer portal because a talented wide receiver, in fact, an individual who ranks within the top 10 players in the transfer portal, and I don't mean top 10 best available players in the transfer portal. I mean Jermaine Burton ranks as a top 10 player in the portal who's either found a new home or who has not. That's the upside he has, because 24/7 Sports has him ranked as a 94 on their scale of portal players. So he is a very talented prospect. What Jermaine Burton gives the Crimson Tide is an individual who has experience at the wide receiver position, and we know the last time Alabama went out and got a transfer portal wide receiver, Jameson Williams, it worked out, and it worked out very well, to the tune of Jameson Williams having over 1,500 yards in a sensational season. But the interesting thing about Jermaine Burton is pairing him with the young talent you have on your roster. Jermaine Burton is a deep threat. He has home run ability when he catches the ball. And in fact, he was Georgia's leading wide receiver in yards. Now, he was not the leader in reception yards. Freshman tight end Brock Bowers had that category. However, he was second on the team in reception yards, #1 wide receiver in that category. So, he was someone who the Georgia Bulldogs utilized. And it was very interesting that he ended up in the transfer portal because of that utilization. When you looked at the breakdown of the numbers, he was getting his targets. Ultimately, he just wanted to find a different opportunity to try and flourish. And he's got the ability to flourish. And if you pair him in a system such as Alabama's, with Bryce Young as the quarterback and with the weapons requisite, that could be something that gets intriguing. Now, Alabama is certainly not alone in their pursuit of Jermaine Burton. Other reports indicating that Ole Miss is going hard at both JT Daniels and Jermaine Burton, and that's going to be something we have to watch. They both entered the transfer portal pretty close to each other's times, so that's going to be a situation we have to watch going forward. But if the Crimson Tide were able to get in Jermaine Burton, you're talking 3 players they've taken from the transfer portal, all 3 of them ranking within the top 10 players in the portal. Not available, top 10, period, in the portal. Number 6 would be Jahmyr Gibbs. Number 4 in the portal is Eli Ricks, and finally, Jermaine Burton comes in at number 9. But what I really like about Jermaine Burton is the average yards per reception, coming in at 19.1, showing you that he is a downfield threat. And if you are Alabama, that's exactly what you need right now to replace Jameson Williams. I have a lot of faith in the guys coming in this current class. And for most of you that have watched my channel for a while know, I have a lot of faith in the freshmen that are currently on campus that are going to be sophomores next year. I know there was some left to be desired in the national championship game. What I would offer is understanding, though, that that's a true freshman when the lights are the brightest. And so it's unfortunate, but I think it's a growing moment, and I think it's a teaching moment, and I think we are going to see a staunch difference next year. Just my 2 cents. But personally, when I think you pair the talent Alabama currently has on the wide receiver roster with the talent coming in, you've got a dangerous group, but that is only furthered if Jermaine Burton is a part of that group. So, with the news about Jermaine Burton visiting Alabama, it has definitely got me excited because that big playability coming in to help Bryce Young and the Tide would take an offense that already looks to be very powerful and make it nightmarish. So, this is something we've got to watch going forward. This would be a huge win for Nick Saban and the Tide, but most of all, I cannot wait to hear from y'all. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you think about Jermaine Burton visiting Alabama. That's it. See ya.